Let's expose a secret that no one is talking about.
Simply by changing our location, we have reduced our living cost by 65%, created a long runway that's allowing both of us to fully focus on creating a freedom-based business, and it has allowed us to travel way more than we've ever done before.
We know it sounds a bit dramatic, but it is absolutely true.
And in this video, we're gonna share our 5 steps as to how we did this and what's still the variant, because you might be surprised that it's way easier than you thought it could be.
With increased cost of living, more and more people are thinking how they can stretch their dollar value, and is there any other alternative way to tackle this?
And there is. It's called geo-arbitrage, also known as currency hacking or location arbitrage. Basically, this concept relies on the fact that you earn your income in a currency that is stronger, but then spend that income in a currency that is weaker, giving you a gap and a runway to stretch your dollars further.
We have been living in Southeast Asia for the past 10 months, and we have been spending almost 1/3 of what we have been spending in Sydney, Australia. So we have actually put this concept into action, and we can say that it works.
And let us show you how. Let's get into it.
The first step in our journey is to maximize our net income. And for us to do that, we need to assess our current financial situation. What do we mean by that, Nabeel?
Yeah, so first things first, we had to figure out what are our expenses. And within that, we had to see what was our essential expenses and our non-essential expenses. And the next step was to see how can we actually increase our income. And that meant that we had to go and change jobs and also renegotiate our salary between the two of us.
Now, there are amazing tools available to help you support in this journey. Some of them are
YNAB and Mint. Go check them out. And this step will set the foundation for what's coming next.
Narrow down the region for your relocation and think about the logistics of it.
Now, when you are relocating, you've got to remember that you've actually got to relocate to a place where currency hacking would work. So for us, we chose Southeast Asia, but you can also consider South America or some places in Eastern Europe.
It's completely depending on your preference and your choice.
Also, we suggest that you consider slow traveling, because that will ensure the least amount of disruptions, because while you're trying to create something of your own, you don't want to be making a whole bunch of decisions around movement.
So we have been slow traveling for the past 10 months. For example, for the first country, we've been in Malaysia for 3 months, then we've been in Thailand for 2 months, then we've went back to Bangladesh, which is our home country, to be with our family, and after that we've again come to a different country, which is Vietnam, and we stayed there for 3 months. And currently we are in Indonesia, and we'll be spending here time for about 2 months.
The other thing that we found very valuable is to identify our number one non-negotiable. So for us, it was finding preschools for our daughter. So any location that we chose, it had to have lots of options around preschool. So that might be something different for you. See what is the most important thing that matters to you. So there are 2 websites you should definitely check out when doing this research. Number one is Nabeel, that allows you to get cost of living costs. And the other one is Nomad List, that gives you feedback and understanding about each location based on digital nomads and expats who live there. Now you've figured out your net income and where you ideally want to go. So how are you going to fund this? One of the things we must highlight is do not fall into the trap of trying to figure out a business, replace your income, and then do it. It is ideal, but it usually doesn't work. So instead, what we suggest is that you save, and you save very fast.
That's what we have done, is aggressively save for this gap year that we are going to embark on.
So during this time, we cut all unnecessary expenses such as eating out and things like that. It was kind of a big sacrifice for us at that time. And also we started living a very minimalist life. We tried to declutter the house, try to sell stuff on Facebook, made some money, put everything into funding this gap year. And on top of that, we even were able to save so aggressively that we were able to get a bit of contingency in case we aren't able to reach our goals within that 1 year.
The other thing to note over here is that we cleared out all our debts, because doing something as big as this, you cannot do this with debt. So over the months, we have taken many steps and we have cleared about $70,000 of debt. We've done a video on this. I will link it up here if you're interested of how to clear debts. You can go and have a look at that video. You have prepared everything, planned everything, and you know where you're going. What are you gonna do when you are in this gap year? Because once all these savings are gone, you still need money to move on. So this is the portion where you think about what you're going to do to generate constant income for yourself.
So there are two options, right? So you can either trade time for money, or you can actually build a business that has a future payoff. It really depends on your risk appetite and what you really want in life. Like, so for example, if your goal is simply to travel, then yeah, you can do gig work, you can do remote work, and basically fund your travels like that. For us, travel was more a byproduct and a bonus. What we really wanted to is create our own business, and that's why we knew that even though there might not be some income in the beginning, there will eventually be a payoff.
Because ultimately, we do not want to go back and get into the 9-to-5 rat race again. We wanted to build something of our own, and we were ready to not see any results, even if it's for a year or 2 years, waiting for that payoff that we know for sure there is.
So thankfully, the payoff started much earlier than we thought. We have started doing one-on-one consultancies, we have started doing selective collaborations, and we've also been monetized on YouTube, which is what we are using as a vehicle to do content creation. So yeah, overall, it's actually getting to that point where we will hopefully reach our target pretty soon.
What we found out, you do not need a big audience to generate another source of income. We have only 2,000 followers in YouTube and a couple of hundred followers in Instagram, yet we have started making money. So it tells you that as long as you have an engaged community, even if it's a small amount, you can still make an impact. And finally, it's the moment of truth. You need to take the leap of faith. You need to do something that is going to completely change your life. And what is that?
We booked a one-way ticket out of Sydney at least a year before we knew that we would actually do it. So it was like a ticking time.
Correct.
For us
So when
to work
we were
towards
planning this whole thing, that's when we said, okay, let's just book it first, and then we will figure out what we need to do. And we timed it in such a way that let's give us 1 year to plan this thing out. Now, if 1 year seems a small amount of time for you, you can take 2 years, you can take 1.5 years, or if you think, no, I want something much more expedited, you can give yourself 6 months. But what is comfortable to you, just do that. But you must put a ticking bomb to it.
Yeah, because that commitment is really important, because our brain works in really interesting ways. A lot of times we might do a lot of research, we might even take a few steps towards the ultimate goal, but you know, it's very easy when you're doing such a drastic thing to get cold feet. So that's one of our ways that we try to, you know, remove that.
And so here we are in our 10th month of gap year. We're here in Jakarta, Indonesia, and we're filming this video while our child is in preschool enjoying her time with her friends and teachers.
And all of this was because we found out about currency hacking and we took action. If you do the maths, and you talked about making your cost 1/3. So as we promised, this is way cheaper and much easier if you actually follow through than a lot of people think. Like, some people have actually come to us and said, oh, you guys are doing this. Is it costing you in the hundreds of thousands? No, it doesn't.
And to prove that, we have done a video which has the exact costs of what we have spent for the first 6 months. I'll link a video up here where you can actually go and have a look, because we explain how much we've spent in transportation, accommodation, and all other jazz that includes this whole gap year thing. So if this lifestyle is something that you want and you don't know where to start, we have done a free ebook where we explain our 4 steps of how we have implemented this whole lifestyle. I'll put a link of that ebook in the description. You can go and have a look just to see whether it is something that you want to do, because there's no harm to it.
Hope you found value in this video, and if you did, please do subscribe to our channel, and it helps us grow. Have a wonderful day and see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.